G'day again. Welcome back to Dad vs. Son. Panzer Grenadier, the Kokoda campaign, and the first introductory scenario. And we're about to go on with the 0930 turn. So let's have a look here. So at the moment, the Japanese have lost 5 steps, which gives the Australians 5 victory points. The Australians have lost 1 step, and the Japanese hold 8 victory points as well of at the crossroads, giving them 9. So they're down 2 initiative points at the moment. So they're down to a 1. Last time, we did a bit of toing and froing here and knocked out one bloke up here. We put a bit of hurt on them over here, but they did some hurting to us. They killed off the lieutenant and demoralised the sergeant. They pulled back their lieutenant here, and we moved up after they'd done that, so we didn't take any fire, which was good. And the captain and Tennille down here, the engineer, moved up as part of the blocking force. So the Japanese right flank is very strong at the moment, or relatively strong at the moment, but their left flank is faltering quite substantially. And the Australian centre's not looking that great, but not that bad. The captain here's got 2 demoralised and a reduced troop. So that's where we stand. So let's get into it. So initiative roll, Australia, a 4 plus 3 is 7, and the Japanese, a 1 and 4 is 5. So difference at 2, half, down to 1 activation for Australia. 1 activation. What do we do? What do we do? Okay, so up here, standing pretty at the moment. I don't think so. I think we need to knock this bloke down again. In the first instant. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to activate these 3 here to fire into the captain. So again, we have 16. Bring her over. So we start on the 16 column. We're down 1 for jungle. We're up 2 for adjacency. And we're up 1 because they've got 3 combat units in there. So down 1, up 2, up another 1. So we're on the 30 column. Is that right? Start on 16, down 1 for jungle, adjacency, and there we are. Yes. So we're on the 30 column, rolling up for a 10. Is a step loss. Okay, so step loss wise, now I think they have to take it on the, I'll make sure of this. I want to do this right. I think they have to take it on the highest morale unit. So that would be the reduced guy. No. Let's just look at loss. Well, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. Okay. 2 step losses. Okay, 7-6. It's going to be down here somewhere. Um, okay, 7. Fire effects. Yip, yip, yip. No, no, no. A full strength with units. Da, 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 da. No. Okay. Direct fire. 1 step loss to 1 combat unit. The only player chooses which unit takes a step loss. This hex does not contain a given type. Blah, 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 blah. I thought you had to do it. What is going on? I can't see it, but I believe that's the way it goes. So that's what I'm going to do. Going blind. Okay, so 1 step loss I'm going to put on this little gentleman here. So he goes into the graveyard because he was already reduced. That takes him up to 6 step losses, which reduces their initiative to 0 and gives the Australians 6 points. And now the rest have to do a M2 check. So we do the captain first. He's on a 10. 9 plus 2 is 11. So he becomes disrupted. We'll do the infantry next. He's an 8 minus 1 is 7. So 6 or less. And he gets it. He's fine. And the engineer unit is an 8 minus 1 is 7. So 6 or less. Oh, and he's demoralized and demoralized. So he takes a step loss. Like that. Wow. So that's another step loss. Take him to 7 and 7. And that is done. And we're back to the Japanese. Okay. What do we got in here? 8, I believe. Yeah. So we could try and recover these guys, which we're going to have to do anyway at some stage. So we could try and recover them. We could fire with these units into here or here. Or we could assault into here or here. I wouldn't go that way because they've got a leader as well. We could assault downhill into here because they've got no leader. But I don't think that's a good idea. I think we need to beef this up. So the best way to do that is going to be to move the captain and the engineer up into here to try and hold these guys. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to move them into here. There's no opportunity fire or anything else because they've already fired. And that's it. And we're back to the Australians again. So I think the next thing we want to do is fire into here. Or do we want to fire into here and try and knock them down? I think we'll fire into here. So we're going to fire into here. Again, we have 16. So we start on the 16, down 1 for jungle, up 2 for adjacency, and that is it because they've only got 2 combat units in there. So on the 22 table, a 7. It's just a morale check. Better than nothing, but not great. Okay, so we have a 10, and the lieutenant passes. We have an 8 for the first unit. He passes, and an 8. He passes. So that was just a waste. Right. So it is to the Japanese. So I think what we'll do now is we will do our checks here. No, we don't need to. Do we move these guys back? And I think that's what we do. So they're not going to come under fire by these guys. So these guys will move back to here. They are no longer spotted. Those guys are, in fact, let's just go. Yeah, they're going to do that, aren't they? Go back there. Okay. This guy is spotted, and this guy is spotted. Like that. Okay. So we're back to the Australians. So let's get our demoralised guy done. He's going to try and recover. So he is a 8, a 7, so 6 or less. Oh, hang on. No, we're not. We are actually going to bring the captain and everybody down here, and then when he tries, he'll have the +1. I think that is the smarter move. I'm not too worried about this bloke at the moment. So they are not going to be spotted anymore because they've come down here. And in fact, this guy's not spotted anymore either. So it's over to the Japanese, and they've got this guy here. So I think he wants to fire. And I think he may as well fire here because, again, trying to take out the lieutenant is the best way. So they are an 8, which gives them a 7, down to a 4 for jungle, +2 for adjacency, +1 because they've got 3 combat units, so it's 16. 9 is a morale check. Okay, so the lieutenant is an 8. Oh, and fails and is disrupted. We'll just start at the top, an 8. And he is disrupted. The next infantry is good, and the heavy machine gun is good. So that was a good outcome for them as well. So it's over to us now. So we're going to try and recover this poor old sergeant. So he is an 8, which goes down to a 7, which goes back up to an 8. So he wants 7 or less and gets it. And he is now disrupted and has, oops, that done. I'm going to just pull him out and just stick him up there with the captain like that. And we're back over to the Japanese, and we are now doing their recovery. So we got this guy, and this guy. So the captain first is a 10, so 9 or less for him. He is back. The infantry is an 8, -1 is a 7, so 6 or less. He fails, so he moves back 1. He's going to move back to here, and he is no longer spotted. And then the reduced fella, the engineer, is an 8, -1 is 7, so 6 or less. Oh, and he takes a step loss. So he is gone. Uh, sugar. Sugar, sugar, sugar. So this guy is, whoops, sorry, wrong one. This guy is moved. This guy is moved. That's done. Another step loss is 8. They can't go down further in morale. We now have one difference. It's a draw at the moment. And that is everybody done. So we can clear markers. We've got rid of all these sites. Sorry, all these should be marked as spotted. These guys are spotted. And that's it. So I think we'll just go straight on with the next turn. So we'll roll up for initiative. Australians on a 3, Japanese on a 0. Australia first is 4 total, and Japanese is 6 total. So 1 for them, 1 activation. Wow. Both captains in there and 1 engineer. What to do here? We want to try and hold them. Want to try and hold. I think we need to pull these guys back. Where do we pull them back to? Where? Okay, we're going to mark them all as move. I keep going M for move. As you can see, I'm a twit. Okay, this captain is going to pull back to here. No longer spotted. This guy is going to, I can't move him into there because he'll take opportunity fire. So we'll come to here, and the captain will come to here. So at least they're fine. And neither of these guys are spotted anymore, and we're up to the Australians. I think we need to fix these guys up before he has a shot at them. So let's do it now. The lieutenant and the disrupted one will simply try that. But this guy and this guy will fire. So we're going to do the firing first on here. So we have 12 direct fire. So 11, down 1. Yep. Down 1 for jungle, up 2 for adjacency, and that's it. So we're on the 16 column for a 4. And M2, that's a bit better, huh? Okay, M2 results. So the lieutenant is a 10, and 2 is 9. The infantry is an 8. 4, 7, 8, 9. So he is disrupted. And the other one is an 8. Oh, that's 12, and he is demoralized. Okay. Now we've got to do these guys here. So the lieutenant is an 8, disrupted, so he needs a 7 or less, and fails, so becomes demoralized. And the infantry platoon is a 8 minus is 7 or less, and he becomes demoralized as well. So that did not work overly well for us. Back to the Japanese then. what to do. Now, if I pull them back, they can only come back one because the demoralized unit, bringing them all back. I think we need to recover these guys. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so the disruptor unit is an 8, so 7 or less, no, and he becomes demoralized, and the demoralized unit is 6 or less, and he gets it, so he becomes disrupted. So they just swapped sides. It didn't really matter too much. And they have, they have activated, which leaves the Australians. Okay, I am going to shoot with these guys. Direct fire. Oh, do I? Now, if I assault into there, the disruptor unit's at a 2, the infantry's at a the demoralizer's at a 1, so that's 3 only. No, I can't. Sorry, can't do that because they don't have a leader. So they're just going to shoot. Yes. So again, 16, down 1 for jungle, up 2 for adjacency. That is it. We're on the 22 column. For a 3 is a X, a step loss. So again, I think it has to go on the highest morale unit, so that's going to be the disrupted unit. 2 flips, which gives us another step loss here, and we now on 0 difference. It's still a draw. Okay, M2. So the lieutenant is a 10. He does a 4 plus 2 is 6, so he's fine. The demoralized unit is a 7, so he needs a 6 or less, and fails. 6 or less, and he got a 9. Blah, 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 blah. So that is a step loss. So 10 steps. 1 point in the lead. Okay, and then the reduced engine infantry that is disrupted is an 8. He needs a 7 or less. He gets a 6 plus 2 is 8 and becomes demoralized as well. Wow. Okay. So it's over to the Japanese. And I think we'll do this unit here. So he is demoralized. So it's an 8, a 7. So he needs a 6 or less. And fails. So he's going to run away if he needs to. He doesn't need to because there's nobody there. He's safe. He's hunkering down. So yeah, it's an 8, 7, 6 or less. He rolled a 7, so there's no change there. So he is done. And we're back to the Australians. Okay. We are going to activate this here. And no, we're not. We're going to activate the captain. And the captain is going to move. And he's simply going to come forward like that. There's no opportunity fire or anything, so that's done. and we go back to the Japanese, and this is all they have got. And I think they need to start bringing these guys back down. So these guys here are going to move. Now, that would be 3 to there or 3 to there. Where do we want to come down? Here is probably the best to stop these sneaking around. So we'll simply go to there. And then we go over to the Australians. We'll activate the sergeant. And he is going to try and recover. So he is an 8. I probably should have done that before I moved the captain. Idiot. So 7 or less. 9. And he becomes demoralized. And these blokes can't do anything. Japanese are all done. So they can't move towards. But they could move up here. So they are going to. We are going to move these guys. I was going to try and... Oh, idiot. Did it again. I was going to try and move them all together, but we're going to just go like that. The sergeant could stay there. They haven't moved any closer. They're still equidistance of 2 hexes. So they can do that, and that just helps to cut this off. And if this guy comes up this way, then we've got opportunity fire. If he comes down this way, we've got opportunity fire at the moment. Well, not at the moment, but if he does, hopefully, or to here, so he's going to have to come around this way. So that is that. We can clear the markers. We can move this up to 0945. And we can save that. 0 up to 0945. Okay, so very productive from the Australian point of view with knocking them down. You know, they're down to a demoralised infantry, a engineer, and a infantry there, and they've got 2 demoralised reduced infantries in there. So yeah, not real flash. And if we look at the graveyard, we've got this guy, an engineer there. We've got this guy, and we've got this guy. This guy, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, and don't care. Flipping and flipping. Oops. Flipping. So 2, 4, 6, 8 steps, 1 step, 8 steps, 9 steps, 10 steps. Yes, 1 step and no other steps. Yes. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next. We've got a lot of force coming down this way. It'd be great if we could double them up, but we can't. But that's fine. Scene. Everybody else is obscene, and we will go from there. So I will see you next time. Take care, and I hope I haven't screwed up too much. Bye for now.